So at Vertech, one of our key industries is water and wastewater. So we developed this project as part of an initiative for Warren, Simpson, and Butler County to provide a modern mobile-first SCADA that fully integrated all assets into one easy-to-use and scalable solution. Some of the key objectives were to make the process of commissioning new assets into the SCADA as dynamic and effortless as possible. We also wanted to implement rich data analysis and visualization to drive improvement and reliability in operations. And we wanted to present that data in a way that was visually engaging. So Perspective provided the mechanism for us to not only meet these expectations, but to do so in a way that performed at scale, could run in parallel with the existing SCADA to ease the cutover process as much as possible, and added so much useful functionality that the institution buy-in of the organization was very high. So one of the key benefits we had with Perspective was the way it could be adapted to fit projects of any scope. For this project, we had over 48,000 active tags, 164 screens, over 1,700 alarms, and 20 plus active clients who are using the system anywhere across the 540 square mile area that their operations covers. Perspective allowed us to develop a solution that would fit these needs with only a simple standard architecture and retain good performance, even as the amount of data we collected grew well beyond the capabilities of the previously based iFix SCADA system. So I'd like to talk about some of the design we used to accomplish these goals. On the left, you'll see a sample of one of our station screens. We chose to design everything using these card-based views. We wanted the SCADA to feel the way a modern web dashboard would feel, complete with the kind of responsiveness from a touch-based interface users would expect and the ability to move through the system intuitively. By standardizing and templatizing a lot of the information we were presenting, we also simplified the process of commissioning a station to only creating the UDT instance for it. There are no other steps for the client to perform other than adding the tag to their tag provider. On the right, you'll see one of the extension functions of this screen. Perspective enabled us to rely on icons to embed useful features on each screen without overloading the operator with options. Screens such as this note-taking screen take a process that was formerly paper-based and liable for confusion, like leaving post-it notes for the next operator on what was happening, to be user-friendly and historized and therefore auditable. So a big part of us providing value for our client is giving them the ability to have insights into their data. Graphs are a time-honored way to accomplish this, but until Perspective, creating dynamic graphs that had a high level of configuration ability was something you could really only expect in a dedicated historian or analysis software. What you're seeing here on the left is a solar voltage graph, one of the dynamic screens in our application that generates instances of graphs for stations that operate based on solar power. A key aspect here was not only the ability to auto-populate and generate the graphs, but use the interpolation and sampling options Ignition has to display data that was collected via radio transmission into a smooth, continuous trend. On the right, what you're seeing is the Perspective power chart component, which we improved with the ability to save and associate custom dashboards for each user and for users to share their saved dashboards with each other. This created a powerful workflow for our customers and has made the jobs of their maintenance staff not only much easier, but created somewhat of an ownership mentality over fixing and identifying problems. So graphs are definitely a useful tool in troubleshooting, but another key way that we try to provide value to our clients and make the process of identifying problems as painless as possible is screens like this alarm analysis. It makes the prospect of digging into the frequency and Pareto of alarms accessible to anyone in the whole organization and replaces several hours of work our client previously had to do each day to investigate where they need to spend their time trying to fix issues. The ability to hover over sections of these cards or just see the distribution in a glance embodies our design strategy. We built a simple and straightforward method of providing value to understanding data that doesn't need a bunch of training to be understood, but the ability to dig deeper and dive into issues is available for people who have that desire. So overall, Perspective allowed us to deliver a powerful and useful upgrade for this client while distinguishing them as one of the most modernized infrastructure providers in the region. Operators are no longer spending their time with fighting their existing SCADA to get insights. Overview screens like what's shown here and the dynamic card-based nature of their SCADA makes using the system a standardized process, and integrating a new asset into it is now a half-hour endeavor rather than up to a week as it was previously. With perspective and good design practices, we have built a tool that empowers people to take back their time and focus on solving problems. And we've also provided a sense of ownership and accessibility that is creating real and tangible ongoing value for our customer.